And first place, finally, and he'll have probably guessed it by now, is Stuart White of Complete Car Maintenance in Surrey.
Obviously to win the prizes, but lots of reasons really. There's lots of reasons. One reason is to challenge myself really. You always learn something from entering, and it puts a bit of pressure on you to perform in an environment which you're not totally used to. And I said by doing that it challenges you, and I like to challenge myself in all forms of life. Because I think by doing that, it's one of the best ways of learning. Obviously, also the profile that we get from achieving it, and I've been striving for it for a long time. And again, as I previously said, it's about the meeting people and the great people that I've met over the time, through this competition, as well as the other things that we do. It means a lot to me because I've been trying to win it for so long. So actually, winning it, having been runner-up, in some ways that puts pressure on, in some ways it takes it off. But it means a lot. It means that I can finally put pay to all those people who've said, always a bridesmaid, never a bride, or something similar. It's been able to put myself up there with Mark, Clive, John, some previous great winners. To be able to, I can now really put myself there with them in the industry. I think that's probably the greatest thing about winning today. Business-wise, locally, I mean, obviously for my business. My business is obviously based in an area, just fairly small geographical area. So we will make the best of it locally, hopefully. So hopefully it'll bring people through the door, but also it'll reinforce to people locally, and maybe, if we can get some more coverage to the wider public, about the level and the skill level that is in the garage trade, and particularly in the aftermarket. I think that's, that's a great benefit. Hopefully it'll bring people through the door, but it'll also, show people how much work and how much training and, how good the people in the industry are. Not all the talk about how bad people are, which is generally, as we know, bad news makes most of the news. So hopefully some good news will shine a positive light on our industry. That's actually an easy question, because this year I did no preparation at all. I've got 3 children under 5. The youngest is just over 8 months. So there hasn't been any time this year. I haven't done any reading, anything this year. I think because of the wide variety of topics that could possibly be covered, it's actually very hard to do that, to know what you're going to be asked questions on. Last year, I did quite a lot of reading on 2 subjects in particular, CAN bus and direct fuel injection. Thinking in last year's competition, they're bound to have one of these because they're very current topics. They didn't have either. So this year I thought, well, I didn't have the time, and I thought, I don't know where to start, because there's so much to know. I think to get to this level, it's very hard you have to be lucky to be able to pick a topic that actually helped you a lot. I think you do have to sort of know, and the way that they judge you and measure you is they are looking to put your skills to the test, not just your book knowledge. It is very much about applying your knowledge. So in some ways, not all of it can be learned. So. Well, obviously we've got some prizing in equipment, which will be put to good use. It's quite interesting that some of it is stuff that I haven't got particularly from Delphi. Some of it I've looked at, but it's nothing that I've bought, so that's quite good. and Panasonic Toughbook. That's a thing that a lot of people in the garage industry would like but would never spend the money on. So that'll get put to good use. The money, holiday vouchers and the money, I'm sure my wife's got plans for the holiday vouchers. Quite possibly, all being well, we might do a big skiing trip with the kids next year, because we're big skiers and snowboarders, so that might be the where that's going. And the cash money will probably go, there's a couple of places it will go. There's a possibility it may go on a new motorbike. Either that, or it will probably go on the house that we've been doing up for the last 5 years and still isn't finished. So that'll probably be where it goes, one of those two. Enter, get involved. Even just by doing the very first stage, answering the I think it's 25 questions or 40 questions, I can't remember. But even just by doing those questions, you're challenging yourself, and you're giving yourself an idea of what you know and what you don't know. I mean, they're giving feedback on these questions. I believe this year, I don't know whether they go feedback to everybody, but I think the intention is to be able to give feedback on that, so you know where you went wrong. I'm pretty sure that you can get feedback on the questions. So it's a way of testing yourself against the current sort of technology and where you stand. And you know, if you're lucky enough and clever enough to get through to the next stages, you'll certainly meet some great people and you'll definitely learn something. I mean, all of these things, it's always a learning opportunity. You know, never go away from meeting up with, you know, these people in the industry without learning something, which you can use we use every day, and that's a lot of what it's about, you know. So I can only say to people, get involved. I haven't regretted any of the time I've spent being involved in Top Technician over the years.